Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Will you please marry me?
You pick up and sleep with 70 to 80 women a year?
You're such a sweetheart.
He's handsome.
When you're not sleeping with a lady, where do you sleep?
On the sidewalk.
And homeless.
You sleep on a cardboard box on the street.
There's no shame in my game, Dr. Phil.
An internet sensation.
You've been to rehab 4 times.
I can do whatever I want as long as I got clean.
But you've been clean 4 times and you blew it.
A cardboard Casanova.
You victimize everybody you're around, right?
I don't like to think that.
With a dark side.
You said you're drunk 100% of the time. Are you drunk now?
I just drank like 10 beers before I came on here.
You wake up shaking, right?
I'm still kind of shaky right now.
What are you running from?
Reality.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by, Dr. Phil.
I'll try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
In 5, 4.
I am not giving up on you.
Go, Dr. Phil.
Hey guys, how are you? All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, I want you to take a look at this young man. His name is Joe. He's 26 years old, handsome, nicely dressed. Just by looking at him, you probably wouldn't have a problem with your daughter dating him, right? She could bring him home. I mean, what could possibly be wrong with him? Well, let me show you. That's right, Joe is homeless. He lives in New York City and sleeps on a cardboard box on the sidewalk. Now, Joe recently became an internet sensation after a video of him was shot by Elite Daily and was released. Now, in it, Joe brags that despite occasionally bedding down on the pavement, he does homelessness differently because he looks good and he stays clean. But that's not all. What shocked people the most was Joe's revelation that 3 or 4 nights a week he finds shelter and a warm bed by picking up women and spending the night with them.
Just for general recreation purposes. I love you.
You're killing it. Yes.
What usually dictates how long a girl lets you bunk up in her place?
It's pretty much all depends on how good the I was sleeping at this broad's house, and last night we just ate a load of clodfins and went drinking.
When you're not sleeping with a lady, though, where do you sleep?
On the sidewalk, on cardboard all-star. I do homelessness differently, you know what I'm saying? I might sleep on cardboard 2 or 3 nights a week, but I literally wake up every single day and do whatever I want.
How many outfits do you have? How many ensembles?
I have 4 pretty good outfits.
4 pretty good outfits? How many, bad outfits do you have?
I have no bad outfits. I don't even like to consider myself a bum.
What do you consider yourself?
A gypsy. I try and maintain as much humanity as I can in this situation, you know? Have a great night. God bless you. That was me donating money to somebody to go get a hot dog. If you're a type of person who inspires compassion, then people are going to give you money. The reason why people give me the amount of money they do is because they realize that they're just that close to becoming homeless, you know what I'm saying? How can you be homeless and not do drugs and drink? I feel like the misery would just overwhelm you. This abstract lifestyle is not for everybody. I'm the only one that can really pull this off.
Well, almost 5 million people have watched that video. Everyone has been buzzing about this cardboard Casanova, and no one could believe his story. Well, neither could we. We had to meet homeless Joe. First, we had to track him down. Then Joe told us he didn't have an ID to get on a plane to come to the show. But he said he'd hop in a car with his buddy, and they drove almost 3,000 miles from New York City to Los Angeles to come here to meet me. Now, within hours of arriving in L.A., Joe was doing what he says he does best, drinking and wooing the ladies. So we captured this smooth operator in action ourselves. Take a look.
Yeah, so I'm finally in Los Angeles. It's crazy. I've never been here before. I've never seen the Pacific Ocean or experienced anything like this.
How long was the drive?
It took us about 3 days. You can drop me off in the middle of the desert with nothing, no money, no clothes except for the shirt on my back and pants, and I will survive. Will you please marry me?
I'm sorry.
You're a nice person to talk to.
I'm a role model.
So what do you do?
Probably 90% of the girls I hook up with know I'm homeless.
Where is your base? Like, what?
I don't have one.
What's your P.O. box or your, like, address?
I don't have one. Sorry. Is that a deal breaker? It's in our genetic makeup to want to, like, hook up. You just, like, tell them whatever they want to hear, dude. Like, it's easy. You just bat your eyelashes, yep. Because you're adorable.
Oh, that's so nice. What do you secret little Old Spice?
It is absolutely nothing. That's just...
It's like au naturel.
I probably only sleep with like 70 or 80 girls every year. There's 52 weeks in a year. Think about it. Anybody can do it. Like, anybody.
It's very nice to meet you.
You're such a sweetheart. If you gave me another hour, I'd have her in the bedroom.
So what do you're watching yourself on video there. What do you think?
I think it's hysterical.
Yeah?
That movie's amazing. Like, the way they shot everything, like, it's awesome.
Yeah? So, did I hear you say that you pick up and sleep with 70 to 80 women a year?
Yeah, it's not really that much, dude. Think about it. There's 52 weeks in a year, so that's barely over one per week. Like
Yeah, I mean, hell, it's almost...
Anybody could do it. Like,
That's
you know
almost
what I'm
nothing.
saying? Like,
I mean...
It really isn't that impressive. Like,
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm on TV for doing it, you know?
You say the rest of the time you sleep on a cardboard box on the street.
Yeah.
But you say you only sleep on clean cardboard. You won't...
Oh, I don't, there's actually no cardboard in that picture right there.
I see that.
You know what's funny about that photo right there?
Nothing.
Nothing
But
is
go
funny.
ahead.
Absolutely. Nothing is funny about that. I was actually overdosed the day before. Got released from the Beth Israel while I was still blacked out. And Elite Daily, I never even gave them permission to shoot that shot, but they were walking by and saw me because it was like in their general vicinity and photographed that.
Yeah. You say girls will actually walk up and see you on the street and just assume you passed out, not that you were living there.
Yeah. Like if I'm wearing like a polo shirt or like a Ralph Lauren shirt or something like that, you know, and they're just like, you drank too much, like you passed out, like what are you doing? I'm like, I live here. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, yeah, like I live on the cardboard, like, and they don't believe it most of the time.
Okay, so you try to look presentable, and so you say like 4 good outfits. This is your bag of clothes.
Set outfits.
So you have pretty good looking stuff, you say.
Yeah, I like to think so.
Yeah. Okay. And you keep this with you all the time.
Generally, yeah.
And as far as toiletries and that sort of thing, where do you get that stuff?
Generally the store, you know, but if I'm in a situation where, like, if I don't have anything, like, I'll make it happen and I'll just go, I'll, like, walk into CVS or, like, Walgreens or something and literally, like, use whatever I need and then just dip out, like.
So you don't steal it from the store and leave, you just use it there?
I just use it and then I walk out, like, if they say something, they say something, like, what are they going to do, like.
Just open it up and...
Absolutely.
Fix, yeah.
There's no shame in my game, Dr. Phil.
No, does anybody say anything to you?
Occasionally. There was one time, there was this Dwayne Reed on, like, 3rd Ave in New York City, and I walk in and I, like, spray the, like, Axe on me or whatever. This is actually pretty funny. So, and then I'm walking out, and the manager comes and chases me down. He's like, what'd you just do? I'm like, I walked in and I sprayed down some, like, Axe. He's like, did you take anything? I'm like, dude, like, you can't even approach me. I'm outside the store, so it's illegal for you to even say anything. So he's like, can I look in your bag? I'm like, absolutely not, bro. See you later.
How much money do you make panhandling?
It's inconsistent, but I don't know. The most I ever made was like close to $300 in a day, and the worst I ever, like, I always make at least like $100 usually.
Yeah, you said your average is like $150?
Yeah, and within a couple hours.
Within a couple of hours?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, dude, like, if you're going to be homeless, right, you know, and you're going to live outside, like, the way I look at it, right, I don't really feel bad because if I'm sleeping on the sidewalk, why should I feel bad about holding a sign? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I looked to see what the median income was for people in America. In 2013,
It's
the
about
median individual income was $41,319. Yeah. And you on the other hand, from panhandling, you're making $150 a day is $54,750 a year tax-free. So you're in the top half of the United States.
I'm sure that's not the case because I wouldn't be living on the sidewalk if I was making that much money.
Well, you said $150 a day.
Also, New York is much more expensive to live in than any other place in the country.
Their sidewalks are more expensive than
Their sidewalks are so much
sidewalks in Omaha?
They're so much more expensive. Yes, if I were to go to Denver or somewhere like there, yeah.
So, but for somebody to make $54,750, they would have to make $75,000 a year before taxes, probably. So you actually have some money going through your hands.
Yeah, but I'm a train wreck, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, we're going to find out where all that money is going. Next, how did a good-looking, charming, promising student from a good family end up sleeping on the streets of Manhattan? What went wrong? We're going to find out when we come back.
I do not consider sleeping on the sidewalk acceptable. People think I'm being a Given the choice between sleeping on a cardboard box or sleeping in a bed, I'm pretty sure any human being in the world would much rather sleep in a bed.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. She's 15 and out of control.
My daughter is drinking and using drugs.
Is that because stepdad,
You said you don't like her.
dad,
I've never seen her drink in my house.
Didn't you give her a breathalyzer at his house?
and mom
She tried to bribe me. She said, what is it going to take for you to do the show?
are so clueless?
I can't blame him for not liking her.
There just isn't time to tell you what's wrong with what you just said.
Then on Thursday, she stormed off the stage, but 5 minutes later,
Would you like to come back out?
What kind of show would it be without me?
Oh, we'd limp along somehow.
My responsibility is to try and not look homeless. I go to CVS and I take their hair gel. Now they have mirrors near the makeup section. I fix my hair. I grab a Red Bull and I walk out.
Well, today we're talking to, frankly, an internet sensation. He's known on the internet as Homeless Joe. That was Joe using a drugstore like he's right at home in his own bathroom. Joe says there's no shame in his game. Hell, he just does what it takes to get by. He says that he survives living on the mean streets of Manhattan by panhandling during the day and then picking up women at night using his good looks and his charm. He says that by showering at women's homes and freshening up at the drugstore, he manages to not look the part. One of your big tools is you don't look homeless, right?
I mean, there's some mornings I guarantee I look homeless, you know. But most of the time, no, I
Yeah, well,
never
some
look
mornings I
homeless.
wake up and look homeless, but...
I highly doubt that.
No, you'd be surprised how worthless I can get. Give me a few days off, I'd be right there with you. So, now, all right, you went to school, right?
Yeah.
And, in fact, you took advanced placement courses. You took AP
Yeah,
courses.
Absolutely.
In, like, math and chemistry, but you didn't graduate.
No, did not graduate.
Why?
Because I got kicked out a month before graduation because of a marijuana-related incident.
Okay, but you got your GED,
Yeah.
and then you went to college,
I tried going to college for a little bit.
and then what messed that up?
Well, I was in the middle of a huge ecstasy run at the time, so I stayed up for 3 weeks when that was going on. And I was still getting really, really good grades, but I was a train wreck, absolute catastrophe.
Mm-hmm. Now, you've been in jail. 'Cause
Unfortunately.
You were on the street sleeping, right?
Yeah, I want to say September 2013, I got woken up by these cops. I took a bunch of Xanax and I blacked out and I passed out underneath the bench. I was so messed up, I wasn't even on top of the bench. I was underneath the bench, you know?
So the cop woke you up, so you
come and wake
decided
me
to
up
punch him in the face?
Well, no, I didn't know that they were cops. I thought that they were just trying to steal my stuff, and I just...
You said they wanted your sack of
so I
4
thought
good
that-
outfits.
Well, no, actually, at this point, I had probably had about 7 good outfits, Dr.
Oh.
Phil. Yeah, it deteriorated from that over the course of about a year and a half, you know.
So you came out swinging.
Well, yeah, but then once I figured out that they were cops, I stopped swinging. And they kept swinging, you see?
Yeah, but you hit a cop, you're going in.
Oh, yeah, I went in.
So you went in for
I went
6
in.
months.
Yeah.
Then you had another incident with the cops.
Before? I've had a lot of incidents with cops. Unfortunately.
How many times have you been to jail for hitting a cop? Because I got the second time you were arrested for swinging at a cop.
Twice.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of those on my record, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's not something I'm proud of, you know.
Why did your parents kick you out?
Which time?
The last time.
The last time, my mom found a bunch of drugs, and I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Yeah. How long have you been living on the street?
Well, the first time I ever became, like, legitimately homeless, like living on the street, was August of 2013, I think it was. Yeah, that was the first time I was ever, like, I've been kicked out of my house multiple times before that happened, but the first time I ever actually lived on the street was August of 2013. And I pretty much did the exact same thing in Boston until I got locked up in December that I was doing in New York, you know, just like surviving.
You seem to be happy to be homeless.
Sometimes, yeah. Just not in the morning.
Yeah, why not in the morning?
Because I feel like garbage. Absolute garbage.
Yeah. So you kind of hang around outside of bars at night, right?
No, I go in bars too.
Oh, you go in?
Yeah.
And you actually buy a few drinks?
I always have money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we know. Yeah. So the girls that you'll actually go in, buy a few drinks, chat some girls up, and I've been married for 38 years, okay? I haven't been on a date with anybody other than my wife in 38 years, and we were together years before that, so I'm kind of old at this. What?
Such a long time.
It is a long time. Well, it doesn't feel like a long time to me.
Good answer.
Well, I'm happy
what do you
for that.
say to him? What do you say to him to make the transition from the bar to the house?
Dude, I just go wherever God takes me, you know? Like, I don't really, like, say anything particular. Like, I just...
Pretty sure God's not part of this transaction right here. But anyway, go ahead.
No, like, I don't really, like, put that much effort towards it, you know?
They just kind of apparently crawl in your lap.
Well, no, dude, it's like riding a bike. Like, it's not difficult once you know how to do it.
Yeah. So, when you do this, do you tell them you're homeless?
Predominantly, yeah.
So you'll say, yeah, I'm...
Yeah, and it's generally not an issue.
Do they ask for where you live?
Yeah, like, I tell them straight up, like, I live outside. Like, they're like, how the heck do you live outside? I'm like...
So you're like, can I go home with you? Because, like, right now I'm between boxes.
That's exactly what I say.
Yeah?
Exactly what I say.
And so off you go.
Specifically.
And they...
No, that's not what I say.
And you stay maybe 2-3 days sometimes?
Yeah, if I'm lucky. You know.
But then you say you're the one that wants to leave.
Yeah, I can't really put up with one place for too long. Like I said in the interview, I'm a gypsy.
Yeah.
I like traveling.
All right, well, Joe says that he drinks morning, noon, and night, sometimes up to 30 vodka drinks a day. Now, I suspect that he's not exactly straight right now. We're going to find out just how inebriated he is when we come back.
I wake up vibrating every morning. It's a combination of the drugs, the alcohol, withdrawal symptoms. I have to get up as soon as I wake up, or like, it doesn't work. Like, I'm not going to sit there and suffer through withdrawals all day.
This November.
A former UFC fighter arrested for allegedly beating his wife.
He would have killed her that night if she hadn't left. Shut up. You're so annoying.
This is the mother that's raising your children.
Yeah, great for her. She's the one who took them from me.
Is she beating the odds?
I have 12 titles in weightlifting, and I have cancer.
Or making stuff up?
My mom never had cancer.
You said that you lost 100 pounds in 6 days. You can't lose 100 pounds in 6 days unless they're cutting off body parts.
Did their son's girlfriend kill him?
You believe she knew he had overdosed and didn't tell you.
Yes. Did you wait 45 minutes to get us to make sure that he was dead?
No.
You are lying. Tell the truth.
You're psychotic. You need to be in a ward. My mom, she's an evil person.
They say they are not allowed to visit their dying father.
That is not true.
If he wanted to see you, he'd call you.
You are so hostile.
Is Mom keeping them from their dying dad?
Do you want a relationship with your children?
Of course. Are you okay with me calling them?
Stop asking for permission to talk to them.
This November on Dr. Phil.
Dude, once I get drunk, all bets are off. Like, anything can happen once that happens.
Joe says he's kind of like a gypsy. I'm not sure gypsies would rush to claim him, but he says he loves the freedom of life on the street, but like many homeless people, he battles with addiction. Joe says angels invented the combination of vodka mixed with Gatorade.
They did.
And after a few drinks being on the street, it's fun. Joe says if he stopped drinking, he could afford a home with the money he earns panhandling. But if you're picking up women, you go to nice homes, right? Some of these women live in nice apartments and nice homes, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you say it's easy. It's like riding a bike.
It's not difficult at all.
Yeah. Could you pick up somebody in this audience if you ran into him? Do you believe you could pick up somebody in this audience?
If they didn't know who I was, 100% fact.
Yeah.
In all honesty, really wouldn't be an issue.
You just start smoothing them.
Just tell people what they want to hear, Dr. Phil.
Really? I got to see this. I want to pick somebody in the audience.
Oh, I'm not doing that.
I got to see your
I'm not
moves.
doing
You're afraid to do it?
I'm not doing it.
Why?
Because I don't want to look like an ass national.
Oh, too late for that. No, I'm just kidding. You would just smooth into him, though. You would just start talking to him. You would just...
Yeah. For the most part, you know. Like, if I see something that, like, I don't know, like, catches my eye, like... But, dude, like, I'm not in a situation where I have to, like, find shelter tonight, so...
Yeah.
I don't really care as much.
You got to be motivated.
Well, motivation definitely helps, but...
Yeah.
You
Like,
know,
when you came out here, we put you in a hotel, right?
You did.
And how was that, sleeping in, like, a bed, not having to do anything?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was great. It was very refreshing.
What kind of shape's the minibar in?
I destroyed the minibar.
It's gone.
It's gone, both of them.
Yeah, we didn't think to bring, we didn't think to get that out of your room. You buy cheap vodka?
Well, given the choice between getting, like, Goose or, like, some garbage, you know, I'd obviously rather get some Goose, but if I don't really have any other options, I'll take some abysmal vodka, you know.
Because you're going to pour it into Gatorade, so...
Yeah, once you mix vodka with Gatorade, like, it tastes like Gatorade.
Are you drunk now?
I'm slightly intoxicated. I just drank enough so that my hand doesn't vibrate. It's still kind of shaking a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see how drunk you are right now.
I'm not that drunk right now.
I think you're pretty lucid right now.
I'm definitely pretty lucid.
Okay, I need you to go on this until it
everything that's
beeps
going on.
twice. I'm sure you've done this
Oh,
before.
I've done this many times before. I got this.
Okay, all right, go. Keep going. Okay. All right. Now we'll count in and we'll see. What do you guess? If .08 is...
0.12.
Oh, so you think you're over the legal limit?
I think I'm 0.12.
Wow, you're .05.
So I'm not even drunk.
You're falling...
Well, wait, this is a huge issue right now. Like,
you're falling behind.
no, I just drank like 10 beers like before I came on here, so...
You drank 10 beers before you came on here?
Well, I drank 6 before I even left the hotel room, and then I drank a Four Loko, which is the equivalent to 5 beers, so 11. Figure my body processes 1 an hour, but I go faster, so yeah, like 10.
How long does it take you to drink a six-pack?
Half an hour, 45 minutes.
Well, so you'll put it right down.
Oh, absolutely. Crush it.
You said you start drinking to not think about things. Like what?
Yeah, I don't like thinking about
Like what?
I don't know, everything, life in general.
Yeah. You've been to rehab 4 times.
Yeah, direct result of shenanigans.
Yeah. And that's like a vacation for you, right?
I love it. I love it.
Why do you love it?
Because they give you free drugs. No, I'm just kidding. No, like, getting clean's actually pretty good, like, the first, like, month or two, but then, like, stuff doesn't start coming fast enough, you know? You don't really get the job, you don't really get the steady income coming immediately after you get clean, and it's becomes a deplorable circumstance shortly after you actually get clean. You know, like, it's so much easier to just run around, you know, and, like, get money and get high, like, that's it.
Joe asked me if I would be willing to help him get to the Dr. Phil show. There's not even one moment that he didn't cry about needing alcohol.
I've literally been hammered drunk for 3,000 miles.
We have viewers that are watching on Twitter, and I don't know about the audience here, but like Fifi Flea says, Dr. Phil, when do we get to the part when you chop this jerk down to size? So many women he's used would love to see it. Sandra D. Hicks says, I hope every woman in New York City sees this and you never sleep on a comfy bed and use another woman again. And Tessa Curley says, you're young now, dude. 10 years in this lifestyle, no woman will acknowledge your presence. Wow. What are you going to do when you start getting older? Good point.
Hopefully, Dr. Phil, I'm not going to be in this situation when I'm older and won't have to worry about that.
Yeah. Joe's oldest friend, Pedro, offered to drive Joe all the way to Los Angeles and put up with Joe in a car for 44 hours straight because he says Joe's a good guy who needs help. Take a look.
Joe definitely has a drinking problem. Being around Joe is not easy.
Like, I do whatever I want. Like, honestly, do not give a about anything.
If he's not drunk, he's not happy. So I let Joe move in with me, my grandmother. So one night, Joe got home from work. My grandma found a mountain of cocaine. I didn't let him live in my house after that. Joe asked me if I would be willing to help him get to the Dr. Phil show. I volunteered to drive him across country, and there's not even one moment that he didn't cry about needing alcohol.
I just want to say, I've literally been hammered drunk for 3,000 miles.
I really hope that Dr. Phil can help my friend, because he's not going to get a chance like this again, that's for sure.
You've got a good friend in Pedro. This is Pedro right here.
He's an excellent friend.
And you actually let him come spend Christmas with you because you didn't want him to be alone on Christmas, right?
No, I was in jail on Christmas, Thanksgiving, I went there.
Was it Thanksgiving?
Yeah, and the year before that was Christmas.
Uh-huh. And you hid all the alcohol.
He found it. In the middle of the night, everybody went to bed, and he woke up in the middle of the night, and there was a brand new bottle of Southern Comfort, and in the morning, that was gone.
Yeah.
Said he was thirsty.
Well, let me tell you what I'm processing while we're sitting here talking, okay? And I don't mean to raid on your freedoms, just another word for nothing left to lose parade, but it looks to me like you have a really difficult and depressing existence.
Only in the morning.
Yeah, no, because there's something you don't know. I've been homeless. I was just like 15, and it was in Kansas City, not New York City. But you can tell all of these people that it's a fun, cavalier lifestyle.
Oh, it sucks in the morning.
But I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it's just sucks in the morning. I think it sucks in the afternoon, the evening, and at night, and it's dangerous. And the only reason you don't know that is because you're hammered most of the time, right?
Predominantly.
You've said you've done, ecstasy, marijuana, abuse alcohol, cocaine. I mean, you'll do about anything, right?
Yeah, as long as it's good quality.
What are you hiding from? What are you running from?
Reality.
You're .05 now, and you've got tremors. If you didn't drink anything for the next 24 hours, you would go into withdrawal. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I was in withdrawal when I woke up this morning.
Yeah. Which means you've gotten to a level where alcohol alone who knows what other drugs you're mixing it with, whatever you have the opportunity to do at a given time. That means this is toxic enough that you go into serious bad withdrawal if you don't have it, which is not the beginning, but pretty well on the decline. You're going to age super fast. You're going to get in situations where you don't have it. You can go into delirium tremens. You can have all kinds of problems with this. At some point, this is going to come to a bad end. You're going to be dead soon if you don't do something about it. And, you say you're running from reality. I mean, you feel like you've disappointed your family, right?
Definitely.
You don't think they would even entertain re-engaging with you?
0% chance that would ever happen.
They're just done.
Completely.
And you got one friend here that drove you 6,000-mile round trip. Why do you suppose he did that?
Because he knows I'm actually very intelligent and can do whatever I want as long as I got clean.
But you've been clean 4 times and you blew it.
Yeah. Are you asking me a question?
Do you want me to ask you a question?
You can ask me as many questions as you want. Just don't stare at me anymore.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil. Is Dad covering for his out-of-control?
What do you hate most about yourself?
What do I hate most about myself? Yeah. I don't really hate anything about myself, for the most part. Not even a little bit.
How about your choices?
Oh, I despise my decision-making.
Well, there's that. Bad decision-making, which leads out to the whole rest of your life, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Because I know people don't talk to you about that because you're like an internet sensation, and all of this is kind of everybody going, wow, this guy's charming, he's handsome, he's this, he's that. But I don't see that because I've got a son your age, and if my son was in your circumstance at this age, I would consider it the greatest crisis of my life. If my son was where you are right now.
Are you asking me a question? Or?
No.
Okay.
Do you want me to ask you a question?
You can ask me as many questions as you want. Just don't stare at me anymore. I'm just kidding.
Does it make you uncomfortable?
A little bit. A little bit.
Yeah. You're living your life in an altered state of consciousness, which means it's just blowing by you. And, I'm one of those people that believes to whom much is given, much is expected. And you've been telling me that you're smart and you're educated and you have skills and all of that. And you're doing absolutely nothing with it. You're contributing absolutely nothing to society. And I don't think we ought to have to drag you. I think you ought to decide that you've been given some great gifts, some great skills, and you need to figure out what the hell you're hiding from so badly that you stay drunk, intoxicated, or high on drugs. In fact, you said you're drunk 100% of the time.
Yeah, unless I'm sleeping.
Well, you can be sleeping and drunk.
Yeah, but it's not as enjoyable as being awake and drunk.
Yeah. But you wake up shaking, right?
Yeah.
You got to have something as soon as
I vibrate in the morning. I'm still kind of shaking right now.
Yeah. What's that tell you? Does that tell you that that's not good?
That tells me my body hates me at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any motivation or desire to get better?
Oh, absolutely. Because my life is a catastrophe, dude.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm willing to help you, actually, but it comes with a whole different set of expectations. I know you've been to rehab before, and they treated you for your addiction. But there's more going on than that with you. You clearly are an alcoholic and an addict, but you clearly have some mental and emotional issues as well. And unless and until those are resolved, you're always going to self-medicate. You're going to get out, and whatever it is that you're hiding from, whatever it is that you're running from, you're going to start medicating again, and to dull that pain.
Definitely know what you're saying is true. I've already overdosed either 17 or 18 times, I think. So yeah. I've literally flatlined 17 or 18 times.
Yeah. And you have to be very lonely. You got a brother in L.A., right?
Yeah, I don't even talk to him.
Yeah, he refused to see you. He didn't want to see you.
Correct.
It was nothing to do with you. Because you victimize everybody you're around, right?
I don't like to think that victimize would be the word.
I did this story for one reason, that I would hope if my son was ever in the circumstance you're in, that somebody in this world would step up and reach out a hand to him. Hey, Dr. Phil here. Did you know that more than 16 million kids in the U.S. are at risk of hunger each day? Join me and visit feedingamerica.org/hunger to find your local food bank to help. I'm Dr. Phil, and together, we are Feeding America. If I offer to bring you resources to give you one, no kidding, serious chance to get your ducks in a row and get some traction, start moving forward in your life, would you do it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And understand what I'm saying is not just getting you clean, but putting you in one of the top dual diagnosis treatment centers in the country that deal with alcohol and addiction, but also deal with the emotional issues that you're self-medicating yourself to avoid. It's a dual diagnosis. They deal with the addiction, but they deal with the mental and emotional issues at the same time. And that means it's heavy lifting, it's hard work. But you might, just might, have an opportunity to meet yourself for the first time in a long, long time if you do that. This is Ben Levinson right here. Ben, say hello.
Hey, Joe.
He's the founder and chairman of the Origins Recovery Centers, and it's a nationally accredited leader in dual diagnosis treatment. And they're located on South Padre Island in Texas. And they do all kinds of comprehensive programs, but they integrate addiction and trauma and other complex psychological issues. I mean, it just all kind of comes together. And unless you do that, you're never going to get it. Because
10 years. In fact, I think if your story gets much worse, somebody else is going to be telling it for you. And it's time to step in and get honest and get clear, take the time that you need, and do the hard work that Dr. Phil's talking about.
You know, they brought me this story to do, and I said, you know, not really interested. They said, well, will you read it? So I read everything, and I did this story for one reason, that I would hope if my son was ever in the circumstance you're in, that somebody in this world would step up and reach out a hand to him. And in that I would hope that for my own sons, I'm doing that for you now. Because I think if you'll get yourself clean, detoxed, and actually figure out what's going on, I think the world can look a whole lot different to you than it has ever looked when you've come out of rehabilitation before. Mm-hmm. And I think you could get excited about your life and really get a handle on things. I believe you have the ability to do that. I do. I think you're smart enough to do it. And so I'm making you that offer right here, right now. And I don't know how long you'll be involved in this. It could be a month, 3 months, a year, 2 years. I don't know. Because the idea is to work until you truly have a chance to turn your life around. You willing to take that plunge?
Yeah, I'm willing to take that plunge.
Do you? Seriously, let's do it. Okay? All right. Okay. Ben, you got your work cut out for you here.
We do indeed.
All right. We'll be right back. And a special thank you to Origins Recovery Center and Ben Levinson, the founder and chairman of Origins. I'd also like to thank Elite Daily for providing us the video of Joe's life in New York City. Thanks for being here. So long. So you're off to Florida. This is your big night?
So excited at midnight. HSN is all about my new fragrance, Georgia.
You're taking it over, right?
And I love it that they're going to be donating to stop domestic violence with every purchase. It's very rare. It doesn't happen often. So I'm thrilled for that.
Travel safe.
Very proud.
I'm very proud of you. Travel safe.
Thank you.